Hey, good morning and welcome. Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquin, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group. Welcome to Thursday. It is Jobless Claims Day. I'll tell you all about it. But before we do, remember, keep Eric in your thoughts and your prayers. Not much has changed over the last few days. So just keep praying for him, and let's hope he pulls through. Of course, for those of you that don't know, Eric's been in the hospital battling coronavirus. I was fortunate enough to have a quick recovery. His has been longer, but let's hope that he can pull through it. A couple of things. We were off the air very briefly this morning at 1360. We were doing some work. We had one of our towers needed some work done. That has been completed. The power, the wattage is back up now. So some of you on the outskirts, if it was coming in a little worse than normal, that should be all fixed now. It's just part of what it is. Every once in a while, you gotta fix things. There was we needed to add some more ground. We had some arcing in one of the towers, so we had to replace some copper to get the ground to be working better. And that's what we were off the air there for those few minutes earlier this morning. But it's all back. We're all good. The Dow is down. Everything is down right now. Gold, some profit taking. Silver, some profit taking. Jump into the silver. You're looking at silver. We're $10 a roll less today on half dollars and quarters. $5 a roll less on dimes. As silver's down $1 an ounce. So hit those pullbacks. Gold doesn't care. I'll just tell you, doesn't care. Gold. There's just. Product availability is thin. These pullbacks are quick. One of the things that I see happening over the last, because we've had a few over the last couple of days, 1935, we're building this big base, so that kind of looks like, 1900 would be, I think, the mega bottom there. But 1935, gold seems to be building a base there. Which we need. We need those bases to get to get to higher highs. The when do we crest $2,000 an ounce? I think it's just a matter of time. Could be as early as tomorrow. Just depends on the data. Today we had jobless claims, and we'll talk about that in a minute. The website allamericangold.com. Remember, you got to go out there every day. We have so many things out on that website. Most of it we never talk about on the show. And the show's only an hour, so there's a lot of great information out there at allamericangold.com. Follow us on the 1360 Facebook page, 1360khnc.com. Hit the F, for Facebook, and make sure you're following us there. Podcast, YouTube, all of those things. And all of our social media presence, because it just helps us get the word out, and really, especially in today's day and age, it's hard to understand and what to believe. And jobless claims is a great way of reflecting of how the media doesn't want us to know the truth. And it's the same thing with coronavirus. We talked about the doctors yesterday that got, banned from YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, right? These are doctors actually treating patients. Oh, no, you're not allowed to tell us what you think. They don't want you to know. So jobless claims, new claims up again. So this is going in the wrong direction. 1.43 million. And when you say 1.43 million, you're talking about, a huge amount of people every single week, and I think it's week 19 now, where we've had claims over a million, really over 1.3 million. We never got below 1.3 million, and now we're going the wrong way. It's going a little higher, not a lot, but a little higher here for the second week in a row. Continuing claims, and here's where the lie comes. See, the government, and I explained this last week, we had the normal program that we always have. If you're working for an employer as an employee and you get laid off, you can file for unemployment claims. Now, we know over the last 15 years, there's been a big push by corporations, and with the help of their buddies in Congress, they've changed a few laws that allowed for them to hire you as a contract worker. And you think, well, why would companies want to do that? Well, they don't have to pay workman's comp, unemployment. They don't have to pay the payroll tax. Right? You think about payroll tax, that's 6.2% of all your wages. It's a big amount. And when you factor in all the other things, the insurance and the benefits and all of the other things that they got to pay for, that saves corporations huge amounts of money. And, of course, when you're a contractor, they can do whatever they want. So, hey, there's only 20 hours of work this week, or there's no work this week, or whatever it may be. But the other part was you couldn't file for unemployment claims. It wasn't allowed. But because of COVID and part of the CARES Act, and I don't know which bailout it was, right? The first bailout, the second bailout, the third. Then they said 3.5, bailout 3.5, and, of course, now they're talking about bailout 4. I don't know which one it was in, but they're allowed to do it. They're allowed to file now. The problem is the media doesn't tell you how many of them are filing continually every week. But don't worry, when we get back, I'll tell you. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. Joe Jaquin, CEO of Patriot Trading Group. Physical delivery of gold and silver. And if you've and we've got, you forget, right? We got new listeners all the time, people that maybe have been waiting to order, thinking about ordering. It's easy here. You call the 800 number. You listen. We don't play games. There's no bait and switch. You're not going to have to take a shower after you get done talking with us. We're straightforward. We want you to get as much gold and silver at the best price possible. It's just that simple. And we run specials. Not every day, but as many days. When they're out there, we run them as many days as we can. And usually those specials, hey, that's the best item, that's the best price. And for a lot of our customers, we tell you, it's very, when you call up, if you've never ordered, or if you've ordered 1,000 times, right, just, I want the special. It's all you need to say. And our big question, I know it's a big one, how many would you like? I mean, that's what it is. A lot of these companies, they love to throw out these items that they say are on sale. And then when you call them up, they tell you you don't want that item, the lost leader, right? The bait and switch coins. We never do that here, ever. And we've been doing this 25 years without a complaint. The Better Business Bureau has never received a complaint from us. Well, from you, our customers. And the reason is simple. Because we do exactly what we say we're going to do. And we don't rip you off. I mean, really, that's the real thing. Why do people complain when they get ripped off? When they get overcharged? When you place an order, you're like, well, how does it all work? So, yep, you know what? Hey, I like that deal. I'd like to take advantage of it. I'm going to call up. I'm going to tell them I want the special. How does it all work? We have offices in Phoenix, where I'm at. I'm doing the show right now in our offices. We're located in the Deer Valley Air Park. We have an office in Colorado, in Johnstown, and it's actually in the radio station at 2 South Parish. Everything we do, so you have the option when you call an order from us. If you're in Phoenix or you're in Colorado and you want to pick up your product, you can do that. And you can do that, and you can save the shipping charge. But if you're far away, as an example, let's just say you lived in Gilbert or Chandler. That's a long drive. You may just say, hey, ship it to me. But how it works is you place the order. We're going to give you the total. And you can mail us a check, or you can put it on a credit card. We take Visa, MasterCard, Discover, Amex. We take all four. Now, there is a credit card fee. And you guys, everybody understands it because everybody charges credit card fees. Now, when you pay with a credit card, listen, these guys, they're whacking us 3% and 4%. All the points. Hey, I get points, and I get this, and I get that. Right? I get it. I want you to have your points. But, all they do is charge us the fees. And when you're talking about 3% and 4%, you're talking most of our profits. In some cases, that would be all of the profit, right? So the credit card fees, if you pay with a credit card, we do add credit card fees. But you decide how you want to pay for it. If you want to pick up in one of our offices and you want to pay with cash, you can do that as well. Everything we do in our offices is appointment only. Okay, we're not a coin store. Where you come in and look around. That's not what we are. But that way, when you're doing your business, nobody else is there knowing what your business is. Privacy is big with us. All the coins that we recommend you buy, you could buy them, sell them, trade them without having to give out your Social Security number, without having to get 1099, right? Again, privacy is big with us, and a lot of you understand that, right? You want to be private as well. But once we have good funds, if we're shipping, we ship registered, insured U.S. mail. If you're ordering a large amount of silver because of the weight, it would be shipped ground UPS, signature required. Okay, ground UPS, signature required. I will tell everybody because of COVID, right? Some of them are just dropping it at your door, so be ready for that. Most of them aren't, but some of them are, and it's up to, we actually called, it's the delivery person's discretion. And normally, I guess what they're saying, if they feel safe enough to leave it at your door, they are responsible. If whatever reason, somebody, especially, the porch robbers, I guess, for lack of a better term, if something happened, they're still on the hook, just so you know. That's why we ship it that way. But once we have good funds, out it goes. If you're a brand new customer and you want to pick up at one of our offices, we will insist that either you pay ahead of time if you want to use a personal check, and we'll call you in, or when you go to pick up, you either got to pay with cash or a cashier's check the first time. Once you're an established customer of ours, you're good to go. You can write a check and pick them up, or you can pay cash and when you pick up. And same thing when you order the first time, we'll hold that check for 7 days. 7 working days before we ship the first time. After that, once you're an established customer, once you've paid for it, if we've got the product that's in, you'll go right out. And normally, everything's delivered within a couple of weeks. We like to have it be a week or less, but especially now. I don't know what's going on with the post office, but they've definitely been running a deliberate slowdown. I just saw last night, though, it looks like the Trump administration is going to give them $10 billion, so hopefully that will have ended. But silver's been slow coming, so sometimes it stretches out to a couple of weeks, but normally things go pretty quickly. And when we do have an issue, we'll let you know. Like example, I'll give you an example because we have one right now. The quarters that we had sold a couple of weeks ago, I ran out of quarter rolls, and I'm waiting I've ordered more. They're just not here yet. Hopefully they'll be here today or tomorrow. But there's probably like 5 people that got, and what I did is I just took the ones that, if you had 10 rolls or 12 rolls or 20 rolls, you're still waiting. As soon as the quarters are here, as soon as the rolls get here, they'll be out. But normally shipping time is 2 weeks or less. And like I said, it goes registered, insured, U.S. mail, and that's it. I mean, it's really a simple process. There's not a lot to it. We don't call our customers ever unless you told, hey, call me when it ships. Like, we'll call you and give you your tracking number and do that. But we don't, there are no unsolicited phone calls from Patriot to our customers. A lot, especially if you order from a company on the television, you order a company that's advertising for free reports. Basically what you're saying is it's okay for you to call me day and night and email me day and night and try to sell me something. We don't do that. We're a family-run business. We do this with the fewest employees possible because we want to keep our overhead low, which allows us to price things more aggressively, and it's why we don't have complaints, to be honest with you, because we don't overprice things. So when you're dealing with us, just know that, hey, we don't give out, we don't ever sell any of your information to anybody. So when you order from us, you don't go on a list. A lot of companies out there will do that. They'll get you to call for the free reports, and then they amass 10,000 names, and then they sell it to people. We never do that. We never give out your information to anybody for any reason. Matter of fact, the only time we'll give out anybody's information if it's a court order. Right? You want to come and issue a subpoena. Okay, we'll do it. Right. Other than that, and usually the only time that happens is I hate to say it, but divorce, ugly divorces, I guess I should say. But that's really it. That's the whole process. So if you ordered from us once and you never ordered from us again, you'll never hear from us again. I mean, it's just simple. When you want to do something, whether buying, selling, right? We sell to us as well. We love buying product. We will happily do that. We're a full service broker. We buy, we sell. You want to trade, we do that. Oh, by the way, Sharky, if you're listening, your product's here waiting for you. So Sharky's one of our regulars. He has one of those phones where the voicemail hasn't been set up yet. So if you want to come in anytime, Sharky, pick up your stuff. He did a trade. That's why it made me think of him. But anyway, that's really about it. I mean, that's how it works for you new people out there. It's a very simple process. We also have a metals plan, which is the metals plan. It's just huge. It's got so many people in it. That's a plan where the minimum's $100 a month, and the way gold's going, that minimum may have to go up. But right now, we're still at $100 a month. You leave a credit card on file with us, and we do 4 physical shipments a year. We have everything from the $100 a month guy. We got guys doing $3,000 a month, $2,000 a month, $1,500 a month. We got people doing 150, 200, 300. You pick the amount, and then you get 4 shipments a year. If you want to learn more about the metals program, go online, and along the menu bar, you'll see the metals program. Click on it. You can read all about it there as well. So there you go. I got an email asking me some questions, so I figured I'd throw it out there for you folks that have never ordered with us before. It's really, really easy. And then we also have the shopping cart. You can always do it that way because we know some of you out there just don't like to talk to people. Okay, well, great. You can do it online. And by the way, I'll give everybody a little piece of advice. The specials, that's a great way to go. If you're just calling in out of the blue, always don't be afraid to ask. Hey, what's the best thing you got? Because you never know what we've got in the vault. We may have 4 or 5 of this, or 3 or 4 of that, or 6 of these. Something where there's not enough of it for us to run it on the air. And you can always get some good deals that way as well. So 800-951-0592, jobless claims. So this morning, they came out and said, hey, first-time claims rose. Excuse me, I had to drink some water there. First-time claims rose 1.43 million. Continuing claims rose to 17 million. Right? And everybody, I watched, I went everywhere. Everybody reported that number, 17 million, which is not true. So I actually went out and I pulled the actual report because the contract workers is on a separate paragraph. And it's so funny. If I was more, If I was more technically savvy, I would love to take the actual report. And I can circle for you in the first two paragraphs of the report. You get the first-time filers, that 1.43 million, and you get seasonally and unseasonally adjusted, and then you get the continuing claims. Now, the continuing claims number, right, that was the number that it's always been. But, of course, they added this whole new program for the contract workers. Then you have to go down, and it's not even that far. I think it's two more paragraphs down. And you get the contract workers. The actual number is above 30 million, and yet they want to tell you it's only 17. The lies just continue. I don't think they can do anything without lying anymore.
This is the Phyllis Schlafly Report, a daily commentary continuing the conservative pro-family legacy of Phyllis Schlafly. And now, from the archives of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, here is Phyllis Schlafly.
The United States has millions of children living below the poverty line, and the principal reason they are poor is that their parents are not married to each other. Poverty is massively greater for children living with a single, divorced, or cohabiting parent than with parents who are married to each other. The poverty rate for single parents with children is 37%, but it's only 6% for married couples with children. Marriage breakdown is a double-edged sword. At the same time that it forces government to become the financial provider for millions of children and their caregivers, it also reduces the government's receipt of taxes to pay for the generous handouts. Income tax day now divides us into two almost equal classes, those who pay for government services and the freeloaders. In 2009, 47% paid no federal income taxes. The bottom 40% received cash or benefits financed by the 53% who do pay income taxes. Among other unfortunate effects, the trends toward non-marriage and toward same-sex marriage are a direct attack on fathers. The bond between a child and his mother is an obvious fact of nature. But marriage is the relationship that establishes the link between a child and his father. There are many causes for the dramatic reduction in marriage, starting with unilateral divorce, which spread across the U.S. in the 1960s and 70s, putting government on the side of marriage breakup. The feminist notion that women should be independent of men, followed by affirmative action and female quotas in employment, tended to carry out the goal stated by Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg that the concept of husband breadwinner and wife homemaker must be eliminated. Federal and state laws and subsidies that undermine marriage are the biggest fiscal as well as cultural issue of our times.
This has been the Phyllis Schlafly Report from Phyllis Schlafly Eagles. The traditional family is the building block of our communities and country. That's why it's imperative to support strong marriages, respect fathers, and champion stay-at-home moms. At phyllisschlafly.com, we oppose the liberal attempt to redefine the family. To join us, visit phyllisschlafly.com. Thanks for listening, and join us again next time for the Phyllis Schlafly Report.
Welcome back, 800-951-0592. Blatant lies. And I don't get it. It frustrates me to no end. And I know, right? They don't want, everybody to know how bad it really is. And here's the thing that was interesting. Last week, I told you about it last week, and I gave you the number. The number was 31 million. So we had 16 million filing in the regular report last week, and we had about 15 million of these contract workers. Total was 31 million. This week, the government, the regular workforce number jumped to 17 million. So you think about last week, we had 1.4 million people file for claims last week for the first time. 1 million of those people, let's say, of course, it's probably not those exact people, but 1 million of those people had to file again, right? So that, again, that's going the wrong way. However, contract workers found some more work. The number this week is 30 million. So if they had actually been reporting the facts, this week's number would have looked a little better. But here's the problem with all of this. The contract worker, it's a double hit. See, because they've got to pay the 12.4% on the payroll tax. So when you look at Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid, of course, I've been telling you a long time now, we don't have that many years left. I think we got about 5. But these people, let's call it, those 14 million people are paying nothing. So it's a double hit on that side of it. And I guess it's really not, because the unemployed, it's 6.2, but the business doesn't have to pay that either. So I guess it's all one in the wash. But you got 30 million people a week that don't have a job, that had a job before all of this pandemic started, and you've got jobless claims rising. So when we look at all of this and we kind of try to figure out where we're at, it's hard to imagine. And everywhere, USA Today, there's reports now everywhere saying, hey, listen, half of those people, the job that they lost is gone. In other words, whether they were a waitress, a bartender, a contract worker, you name it, whatever it was, half of them, so 15 million of them, the job that they had is gone. In other words, the business is closed, or hey, you were let go. Then the other half, the other 15 million, don't know yet. I'm on furlough, or my boss said, hey, when we reopen, hopefully I'll be able to hire you back, right? They're not sure. My fear is that other 15 million may be out of luck as well, and that would be a huge problem. But even at 15 million, you would have an unemployment rate in the double digits. And when we look at the unemployment rate, when we get that number, guess what they do in that number too? They leave, yeah, you got it. They leave the contract workers out of that number as well. So that number's a lie. So there you go. There's a couple more lies that you've been given. But anything to make things appear better than they are. We had second quarter GDP today, down 32.9%. So let's just call it 33%. GDP second quarter was down 1/3. Now, if you extrapolated that on an annualized basis, okay, that's about $7 trillion. Okay, so if we average that for the whole year, and we're not going to average that. We're not going to be down 33% for the whole year. But the U.S. economy, and I'll round up, is about $21 trillion a year, okay? Now, it's not that now, but we're closing in on $21 trillion. So if you lost a third of it, right, that'd be $7 trillion. Now, here's the thing. This is just a quarter. So that's about $5.25 trillion a quarter, which 33% of that would be just under $2 trillion, $1.7 trillion less in business for that quarter. So $7 trillion annualized, right? $1.7 trillion for the quarter. Now think about what we've spent to only lose be down 33%. The Fed's balance sheet during the second quarter went from $4 trillion to $7 trillion. So there's $3 trillion. The federal government, right, so far has issued, it's a little over $3 trillion, I'll round down. They've spent $3 trillion, right, in all the stimulus and handouts and everyone get a check, the extra $600 a week, right? So between the two, we've spent over $6 trillion, and we ended up losing $1.7 trillion in GDP. So really, when you sit there and you start looking, you're like, wait, how is this possible? Now, I know the Federal Reserve, that money doesn't show up. That's all save Wall Street behind-the-scenes paper money. The government spent $3 trillion, and yet the economy lost $1.7 trillion on top of that. So think about how much money they would really have to spend to get the V-shaped recovery that they had promised. And again, Eric and I were saying the whole time, it's not enough, it's not enough, it's not enough, right? The Democrats wanted $3 trillion, the Republicans only want $1 trillion, and I was saying that's not enough. It's not enough. And now if you're going to add, and I don't know what the number is finally going to be right now, I know what the number is. 30 million people are filing for unemployment claims. 30 million. And you start thinking about that's 30 million people that, hey, we're getting that extra $600 a week, right? 30 million people, we're getting an extra $600 a week. I mean, God, it's amazing to think about it. That's $18 billion a week. And now that number, at least right now, as of this morning, the Republicans and the Democrats aren't even close. So next week, that $18 billion's gone. Right, remember, and of course, they want to replace it with a $200 check, which would be devastating. But you can see already just that one little piece alone is about $72 billion for a quarter. I mean, it's huge. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. So I misspoke again. $234 billion was what the extra $600 a week added to the economy. And we still lost $1.7 trillion for the quarter. So when you're sitting there and you're trying to think about, the government spent $3 trillion, the Federal Reserve spent $3 trillion, we lost 1.7. Now we're going to get a bounce back here in the third quarter. But 10%? I don't know. Maybe 15%. It's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be anywhere close to the 33% that we lost. And again, remember, the government's going to spend, at least $1 trillion more. Yesterday, late last night, the Senate, which is the Republicans, are now asking and talking about bailing out commercial real estate. And again, this is something nobody wants to talk about. The foreclosure moratorium is coming to an end. And the eviction wave, it's going to be, and this is the other thing, too. The longer this thing takes, this next round, because I know in this round, they're trying to add an extension to the evictions, right? Not allowing you to evict people. But now Congress is at least talking about a $550 billion bailout for commercial real estate. Now, that doesn't, what about residential, right? Another $500 billion. It just doesn't end. All of the amounts of money that we're going to be spending. By the way, right now, 330 people lose their job for every one death. You know what? And I'm going to re-verify that number because I want to say they're only using the 17 million number. So forget that. I'll do it during the break. I'll give you a new number. How many people are unemployed per death? I'll give you that number in the final segment. But we are sitting here, and again, right, whether it's $1 trillion, $2 trillion, $3 trillion, we'll have to wait and see. Now Congress is talking about bailing out the commercial real estate market, which means what? How many people really aren't paying? If you're talking about Yelp said 71,000 of its businesses are now permanently closed. Everybody's estimating, every estimate I've seen, 30% is like the low number. 30 to 50% of all small businesses aren't going to reopen, right? And you start doing that, and you're like, wait a minute. What are we talking about here? How much office space is going to be available? How many people aren't paying their mortgage every month or paying their rent every month? And we don't know, and they won't tell us. But now they're on to talk about another bailout, and this is why when we talk about gold's just getting started here. You know, we talk about $27 trillion in debt and somewhere closing in on $30 trillion before the end of the year. And you look at the Fed's balance sheet, not my number, Deutsche Bank says it's going to be $20 trillion. And you just start to be like, wait a minute, this is nuts. You see China now. China's trying to get their cross-border trade out of dollars as much as possible. Brought it down by 20% already. And it's kind of that perfect storm, right? Even the dollar today gold's had profit taking in gold, and that usually happens, you know, when the Dow's down, big numbers, gold will fall. Gold's down right now. In New York, gold's down 13. On Kitco, on our website, you'll see it down more, but that was because gold ran big in the aftermarkets yesterday. Gold was over $1,970 to the ounce late yesterday afternoon before profit taking had ensued. But again, this is a short-term thing. When you start thinking about all the things that we need to do, think about what's going to happen to the food stamp rolls. I think it was Drudge saw 30 million people didn't have enough food to eat last week. I told you, was it last week or earlier this week? They all run together. The food bank lines are back, right? All these things are happening. And if we lose this moratorium, how fast are the landlords going to act to get people out? Because they know that sooner or later the government's going to pass something. I don't know if they'll be able to get them out fast enough. It's going to be interesting to see. 800-951-0592. Yesterday we were running those $5 gold pieces. Remember, we had 175 of them, which is the largest number I've ever seen on $5 gold. We have 88 left. 88 $5 pieces. I know gold's down, $13. It doesn't matter. Price didn't go down. 1 through 9 on the $5 Liberty gold piece. Those are the old ones, the quarter ounce, $5.90. 10 through 19, $5.85. 20 or more, $5.80. There's only 88 left. And once those fives are gone, it'll probably be a while. My guess will be it'll be at least 2 or 3 weeks before we get more fives to run again. On the silver side, silver's down. Oh, it's less than $1 now. So silver's coming back as well, but it's still down 90 cents, 23.41 on silver right now. Rolls a $50, quarters, and dimes. There are no Silver Eagles available. They're down $10 a roll on the $50. Yesterday, $50 were $235. Today, they're down to $225. Rolls of quarters at $220. Rolls of dimes at $110. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour, final segment on a Thursday. Final segment here on a Thursday. Gold continues to move back up now at $19.50. Still down, well, depending on where you look. It's down $10, $11, or $20, depending, but the price is the same. $19.50. Silver at $23 in change, 23 and a quarter right now. 800-951-0592. That is the number to place the order. U.S. $5 gold pieces. This is, probably close to the last day of these. $5.90, 1 through 9, 10 through 19. Save $5 at $5.85. If you buy 20 or more, you save $10 at $580. We got rolls a $50 at $225 a roll. You're saving a $10 a roll there. Rolls of silver quarters, $2.20. Again, saving $10. The dimes at $1.10. You're saving $5 on a roll of dimes compared to yesterday as silver's off a dollar. And like I said, the gold side, gold's down $10, $12. Nobody cared. Prices didn't go down at all. And again, this is what we're seeing. Demand, the paper markets are the paper markets. The physical markets are the physical markets. And everybody's in there buying. 800-951-0592. That's the number you call, the toll-free number to place your orders. And again, just tell the girls, hey, I want the special, I want the silver special, I want the gold special, whatever it may be, and we'll get you taken care of. Remember to keep Eric in your thoughts, in your prayers for us, please, as he continues his battle there, and hopefully we'll get the results that we're looking for. Tomorrow, we'll see what tomorrow brings. Tomorrow will be a Friday. We'll try to have a little fun here. Hopefully, somehow, some way, right? Hopefully, the data gets a little better. Tough day on Wall Street. It's down about 250. The Nasdaq actually just went positive, so I don't know if it was Google or Facebook or Amazon or Apple. I'm sure one of them is having a good day. But the Dow's down 250. The S&P is down as well. Crude oil's down. People are worried, right, about the bounce back, right? The continuing claims going the wrong direction, the initial claims going the wrong direction. And the continuing claims, I told you, the continuing claims actually got a little better if you counted everybody, but they don't like to do that, right? They like to lie and misrepresent. I promised you I was going to get you the job loss numbers, and so if you got 30 million people that are out of work, right? You got 30 million people that were out of work. You take the amount of deaths, which I think is 154,000. It works out to about 200 people. If I'm using the right number, 200 people have lost their jobs. Well, and again, continued to lose their jobs. If you take 54 million people now since the pandemic started. If you take the 54 million number, now you're talking about over 300, about 330, 340 people lost their jobs for every one death. If you use the continuing claims number, about 200 people continue to have their job lost for every death in the U.S. Patriot Radio News Hour. I know, kind of a weird show today. We'll get back on it tomorrow. Everybody take care. God bless you all. Get Eric in your thoughts and in your prayers, and get yourself some gold and silver put away. But we'll be back tomorrow for one more show.